This is the resume that got me interviews at Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Reddit, and TikTok.
How you format and lay out the content of your resume is just as important as the actual content.
Are resume writers worth it?
And maybe you're wondering, should I consider hiring a professional resume writer to help me get a winning resume to get noticed by recruiters and land that dream job?
Someone posted a question on a UX Research Facebook group asking whether resume writing services are worth it. And from the replies, I got a sense that people immediately dismiss them as not worth the money. Now, I'm usually wary whenever people give blanket statements. So in this video, let's explore this question of whether resume services are still worth it in 2024. Their pros and cons, my own experience with one, and how I've helped hundreds of people with their resumes. And heck, while we're at it, in the age of AI, let's ask another question. Are resume services better than simply plugging your resume into AI? And by the end of this video, hopefully you can decide for yourself. So let's get into it. First question, why do people think they are not worth it? Well, we like to ask why on this channel. So let's break down the reasons why people are against resume services, aka the cons of resume services. I agree with what you're saying. The best person that knows your background and all the experiences you have had in whatever profession that you are in is yourself. I've been in my profession for almost 20 years and I know all the terminology in my trade. That in itself is a huge plus when creating your resume. A writer won't know the terminology as you know it. So it seems there are 5 big reasons why people are against resume services. The first one being the output is generic at best. And I agree with that. Second reason, the best person to write your resume is yourself because only you know your experiences here. Now, I actually disagree with this one for some cases. I'll explain later. Let's go through this third reason. You could probably do enough for free using AI or friends. Reason number 4, the resume writers are probably using AI anyway. I don't know if that's true, but and that brings us to the 5th reason. There are no verifiable claims to the success rates for landing jobs. And I agree with that, but I'll tell you why this doesn't really matter or shouldn't matter. When I got laid off due to COVID, my company partnered with a large staffing agency to offer job placement assistance, including resume services to help us in our transition. And I got partnered with a resume writer. And we did maybe a quick 15-minute phone call for her to learn more about me. Now, she wasn't an expert in my field. She barely knew what UX was, let alone UX research. But she was a resume expert. And I thought she did a decent job revamping my wording, making things sound stronger. The structure looked a lot cleaner. And frankly, I felt more confident about my resume. And I appreciated her help. But my resume didn't magically have more experiences or substance because of it. Now, I'm happy I got the service for free because personally, I would not have paid for it just because I knew going into it, I wasn't getting an industry expert in my field. It's like the free bread you get at restaurants. I'm happy they give it to you, but I'm not gonna pay for it. Unless it's the Texas Roadhouse ones, because, oh, those cinnamon butter bread rolls. Smash the like button for those bread rolls. Anyway, where was I? Yes, I got the service and I applied to, maybe 10 more jobs. And I didn't land any of those, but was it my resume writer's fault? Did I blame my resume writer because I didn't land the job? No. And that is what I want you to understand going into it. Resume services can help you revamp what you have. They can't magically give you more of what you don't have. Your resume is stronger, but that doesn't make you any stronger of a candidate. Does that make sense? If you don't land a job, don't blame the resume writer. Besides, if you expect to land a job just because you paid for a service, that's hella stupid and frankly inequitable. Landing a job is not pay to play. I'll say that again. Landing a job is not pay to play. That's why I think reason number 5 doesn't matter. Here's another thing to consider. Maybe there are things completely out of your control. Maybe you have the perfect resume, you're the strongest candidate ever, which I know you are. But your industry is going through the economic shitter and the market just sucks donkey butt. You know, it's not you at that point. It's not the resume writers. Maybe it's just the market. It's all about setting the right expectations. Of course, that isn't helpful to you, right? I know that. But know that the resume is only one part of the application equation. I have many videos on landing a UX job, so check those out. Remember reason number 2? The best person to write your resume is yourself because only you know your experiences. Here's why I only agree somewhat. If you have 10, 20 years of experiences in the field, then yes, I agree, you probably are the best person to write it because hopefully you know exactly what's important to surface, and by now you probably have experience calling out the right pieces of information for the hiring managers. Maybe you've even had experience being on the hiring side. But if you're making a career switch or you're early in your career and only had a handful of experiences, then maybe you aren't the best person. Let me explain. When you're new to a field, you might not know what you don't know yet. The 2 main problems I see of my clients and my mentees who are usually switching careers or between 1 to 4 years into their career are 1, super generic bullet points like conducted user interviews and analysis with 15 participants. And second, they aren't sure how to showcase impact, or they assume impact is only quantifiable by numbers. What I do is ask them to tell me about their project stories, just like a case study review, and I will probe and dig deeper, asking them questions about the steps they took, what problems they were solving, with whom, how, when, why, and what happened as a result. This is the crucial step because based on their stories, I'm able to point out important things they didn't realize could be pointed out, highlight keywords, or things they didn't even know could be relevant. And so many times I would see their eyes light up. They're like, wow, I didn't even think about it that way. You're right, I did do that. So not only am I generating much stronger bullet points, it also builds their confidence. And in a way, kind of prep them for a case study interview. So that is why the industry expertise is extremely helpful. It also helps because I've been on the hiring side of the table too. So I understand what hiring managers need. And that is why I don't think you are always the best person to write your own bullet points. You may need an outsider perspective. And hey, if someone doesn't have the experiences yet, I'm gonna be honest and say, hey, we could spend all day fixing your resume, word it better, but at the end of the day, I think your focus should be acquiring more projects and experiences to talk about. And I'll offer some tips on where to find them, which I have YouTube videos on that topic too. And I think resume writing services have to be upfront about that. I'm gonna look at this candidate, this person looking for help. Can I help them? Am I able to help them? Rather than just saying, hey, come to me because I want you money, right? I've turned away people because I'm like, I just don't think you need resume help right now. I think you need to find more experiences. Come back when you have those experiences. So the question we were trying to answer, are resume writing services worth it in the age of AI? My answer is, it depends. First, let me get this out of the way. Generic resume services probably aren't worth the money. I suggest starting with free resources first. Read articles on your best resume practices, use AI tools to help you polish or brainstorm things, and then ask mentors for feedback. AI could polish your resume, and you could prompt it to pretend to be a hiring manager, include your story, and see how far you can get. And be honest with yourself. Do you have enough experience? Try all those things first, apply to jobs, and if you still aren't getting hits, then you might want to consider getting a specific resume writer to help you. But not just any industry expert, but an industry expert who has helped people with their resumes before. Because we all know that an expert doesn't always mean they're a good teacher, Now, if you want to look for resume services, here's how to find the right person. Look for industry-specific writers and ask them what their process is. How do they help you? Do they ask you questions? Do they try to understand you? or just try to rewrite what you give them? Have they been where you've been? Have they experienced the same struggle you're experiencing? Can you relate to them? Can they relate to you? And importantly, are they honest with you about your experiences? If they can help you realize things you didn't think of after trying all the free things, I would say that's well worth it. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was helpful for you to make your decision, and I wish you the best of luck on your resumes. By the way, I used to do resume reviews for free. And even my first time charging, I charged 20 bucks because I was really scared to charge people. But then I just got a stockpile of them, maybe like 100 resumes. So I stopped doing them. But if you want me to review your resume, I'd be happy to do it for YouTube. Just email me your resume and comment resume review. If you want a good example, Amy Santee did an amazing video with UX Research and Strategy Group reviewing resumes on their channel. So I'll link that down below for you to check out. Amy is awesome, and so is UX Research and Strategy. Thanks again, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you want to see what's next. And let me know in the comments what experiences you've had with resume services or anything else you want to see. I post videos on all things UX research related to help you become a badass UX leader. Mad love. Peace.